Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I told you there was gonna be another book haul for this month because I already did a book outlet haul, which I believe was the last video that I uploaded. And guess what? I have another book outlet order that I'm going to unbox in this video. I feel like that order was like my gateway order, and I'm right back into the book buying issue that I have. That's okay. We're just gonna get into it. So I have a couple books that I want to show you, and then I will get into the unboxing after I get through those. All of these books I am ridiculously excited about, so I will refrain from being like, I'm so excited about this book with every single one. Just know that I am. So the first book that I have to show you was a complete impulse order. I really wanted it. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that they're reading it and they are absolutely loving it. And that is Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley-Doyle. She wrote The Accident Season, which I believe was her debut book last year, and everybody like lost their minds over it. So this is her book this year, and this one sounds right up my alley. I have yet to read The Accident Season, so I can't like speak for her writing yet, but this sounds so good to me. This is pretty much set in an Irish town, which I'm already sold on that, where things start to go missing. It starts as trivial things like little objects, and then it starts to be bigger things like memories, lives, when I believe a group of teenagers finds a spell book that can allow them to bring these things back. That is the vaguest description ever, but I kind of want to go into this not knowing too much about it because it just sounds so good. Everyone says that it's just amazing, so I just really wanted it. Also, who knew that they changed the cover of The Accident Season? I just saw that. Look at that. That is not at all what the original cover looked like. Interesting. The next book was the weirdest impulse purchase that I've made. We have like a discount grocery store. It's kind of one of those like scratch and dent type grocery stores that we kind of regularly frequent when we need some junk food because it's a really good place to go stock up on like cereal and stuff like that. So randomly, they added a book section. This is a grocery store, like solely a grocery store that only sells food, and all of a sudden there is one section in the middle of shelves, like it's surrounded by bread and by like granola bars and stuff, and there's just books, just one shelf of books. But it was mostly like picture books and like little kid books and randomly some like historical fiction books, and in those books was We Are Okay by Nina LaCour for $1.99. Like, this is a fairly recent release, so I was so fast on grabbing this off the shelf. It was really exciting. Like, I scared the person who I was standing next to because they were like, whoa, she's very serious about this purchase. And I was like, you're darn tootin' I am. This is actually a book that I've been moving in and out of my shopping cart for a very long time on Amazon, but it's been hard for me to justify buying such like a little short book that I know I'm gonna read in a couple hours for full price. So when I found it in a grocery store for $1.99, I was like so stoked. So this happened. The next book is a book that I just talked about recently in my last month's releases videos for this month, for my August releases videos. But this book is so pretty. I got Wicked Like Wildfire by Lana Popovic. Beautiful. Just so good. If you want to hear the summary on this, it's going to be in my releases video. I will leave it linked down below, but it just sounds really good. Like, it sounds very magical realism-y and just beautiful. And just look at it. Also, it's way thicker than I was expecting it to be. For some reason, this cover reminds me of Wink Poppy Midnight, which is a very short book, so I expected this to also be a short book. I know that's not how it's supposed to go, but that's what I was expecting, so I was pleasantly surprised when it was actually like a full-length, like over 400-page book, so that's exciting. The next book I picked up is The Roses of May by Dot Hutchinson. This was a book that I just had to have. I recently read The Butterfly Garden, which I will talk about in my wrap-up, which will probably be my next video that I upload, but these books, they are so good. I binge read The Butterfly Garden and it was amazing, very, very disturbing. So I will get into kind of what that book is about in my wrap-up, but I believe this is not necessarily a sequel. It's the next in the series, but I don't think it follows the same cast of characters, so it's gonna be a completely different, really disturbing serial killer type story, I think. But I had to have it. Her writing is just so good and so addicting, so I had to immediately order this after I finished The Butterfly Garden. And this next book, again, was an impulse purchase. I was in Target and randomly went to the book section, as you do when you go to Target, and I just kind of picked this book up because, hello, I will pick up anything that has a circus tent on the cover, because those books are few and far between, but I will read all of them. If it is carnival or circus or sideshow or freak show, anything that is in that realm, I will read it. And so that is what made me pick this up. It is called The Life She Was Given by Ellen Marie Wiseman. I've never heard of it. I have yet to hear anybody who has read this, but everything in the synopsis just appealed to me right now. Like, everything. So basically this is about a girl. I believe the prologue of the story is pretty much there's a girl who is kept hidden in the attic bedroom of her parents' house, and her parents never let her leave because I'm assuming she has some sort of deformity going on. I don't know. But the very first time that they ever let her leave the house is when they sell her to the sideshow. So she spends her life growing up in the circus as a freak in the sideshow, and then I believe the rest of the story is told when she is an adult and her parents have passed away and she has inherited their estate along with their horse farm. Again, another keyword, which will make me immediately buy a book. And she kind of goes back to the circus life where she becomes like the main attraction. It sounds so good. Like, everything about this book is like what I look for in a book. So if any of you have read this, please let me know what you think of it, because again, I always pick up circus type books and I feel like I'm let down a lot just because the Night Circus kind of put my expectations really, really high and nothing is quite living up to it. So I'm starting to slowly like adapt my expectations to regular books. But if you have read this, let me know what you think of it. And this is a completely random purchase, but also I was at Target in the book section on this same outing, but I have been looking for the next in this series for so long. This is not like a book series. This is a paint by stickers book. I know. I'm pretty sure I talked about the first one of these that I hauled probably about a year ago, and I finished it, and I have been desperately wanting more of it. Any of you who are in the whole like adult coloring book trend, or they're starting to expand to other like adult things. There are adult connect the dots, there's like very complex adult paint by number, which I ordered one, don't worry, that'll be coming soon. But these are like my favorite. Like, this is literally, okay, so let me explain this to you. So this is like what the pages look like, where it's all of the like little numbers and everything. I have no idea if this is focused or not. And then you flip to the back to like the associated page and you get all of your stickers, where you're like, okay, that sounds cool, whatever. This is so hard to do. Like, I do this with tweezers, and it reminds me of like when my granddad did like model building or something like that, because it is so intricate and ridiculous. But this is my favorite thing to do while I'm listening to audiobooks. I can literally sit there for hours and sticker. Don't judge me. Okay, moving into this puppy. I am so excited. I got this 2 days ago, and I have held off opening this until today. Let me tell you about the self-control that has been executed. It's been hard. So let me cut this open. This is not going to be as big of a purchase as my last one, but if you watch my last haul, you know that I got the coupon where it was like 4 off of 20, which I immediately had to use. You know, that's how it works. Thanks, marketing. Okie dokie. So we have packing slip. We have more paper. I have so much packing paper in my house. It's ridiculous. Okay, so, oh, I'm excited. This is like Christmas. Every time I do this, it's so exciting. So, the first book I have is one that I never expected to find on Book Outlet, but it's a book that I've wanted to read, but kind of figured I would just pick it up on Overdrive or something to listen to. But this is If at Birth You Don't Succeed, and this is by Zach Aner, who, if you guys haven't seen his stuff, he kind of makes his rounds on like Facebook. He's viral. He's very viral on the internet. But this is a guy, you've probably seen him before. He has cerebral palsy and he just has like the best outlook on life, and he's hilarious. Like, all of his videos have me die laughing, but he's just pretty much trying to make like a really good impact on the world. in the best way possible. I just love watching his stuff. This is pretty much him talking about his life, and it's supposed to just be like brutally honest, hilarious to listen to. I just love his voice and how he says things, so I'm so excited to read his book. Just so excited. The next book that I have to haul for you guys is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. This is a book I was very excited for last year. I believe I actually got an arc to read of it and never got around to it. I know, booktube problems. But this is a retelling of The Goblin King from Labyrinth. I think the reason that I didn't really get around to reading it is because I heard not great reviews, because like a lot of people, Labyrinth is one of my, like, it's in my heart. It's one of my favorite movies and stories. I just adore it so much. So I was very excited, but also very nervous about this book, and I heard that it wasn't that great, so that kind of put me off. But I still really want to read it, so I got it. I also, okay, in case you guys were curious about scratch and dent stuff off Book Outlet, I have ordered endless scratch and dent stuff and have yet to find what the actual issue was. This is the first one where it's a scratch and dent version, and the cover is just slit. Like, you can tell that somebody just like opened a box with a box cutter and this happened to be there. So this is probably what the realm of scratch and dent is. Am I upset about it? Not really, because this is a book that I'm kind of leery about. This is literally just like a slice too, so I can literally just like pop a piece of tape on there and it'll be fine. It'll be great. But in case you guys were curious, that's kind of what they're talking about. So, got this. Kind of leery. We'll probably read this in the wintertime. It has really good people blurbed on it. It has Renee Audier, Roshani Chachki, it has Marie Lu blurbed on the front, so I have high hopes. I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna have high hopes going into this. The next book I got, you guys are probably gonna be really excited that I got it, because that means I'm gonna read it. And that is Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. I know, this made its rounds last year. I just happened to not get it. It was one of the releases of last year that I ended up skipping over for the room of something else, basically. And I still really want to read this. And One Dark Throne is about to come out, like right now, basically. When this video is uploaded, it's probably already out. So I'm very excited about this. I like Kendare Blake's writing, and I will probably get to this actually like really soon. Like probably as soon as I finish Tower of Dawn, I will move on to this, because the sequel is coming out very soon. But in case you guys are unaware, this is a like rivalry for the throne between sisters type of story, which I love. I love them. And I believe they all have powers. Am I mistaken in that? I think they all have some sort of power. Whoever wins has the best. I don't know. It sounds great. It's a pretty book. I like these covers where it's like the buttery velvet covers. So I got it when I saw it on Book Outlet. I also picked up Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. I've already read this. I've already read this like 2 or 3 times. Jenny Lawson is like my spirit animal. If you have not read her stuff, just read it. She makes me die laughing. Like, as far as books that actually make me laugh out loud, like physically guffaw, it's her. She's just so good at her stories, and I had her first book and I didn't own this one even though I've read it so many times. I read the ebook and I listened to the audiobook. I just wanted to have it also because of the raccoon on the cover. Like, it's a key part of the story, and it's great. So I just really wanted to have this. In case you didn't know, she's a blogger who started publishing kind of her like life stories. This entire book is just told in like short stories from her childhood and her adulthood dealing with mental illness, basically. So she gets very real very fast, but then we'll lighten it up with a really great story. So it's a really good blend of hilarious antics and really soul-crushing depression. So that sounds fun, right? The next book that I picked up is Shiny Broken Pieces. This is the sequel to Tiny Pretty Things, which I hauled a while ago. I still have not read it, but I've heard amazing stuff about these 2 books. I think it's only a duology. There might be another one coming out. I'm not positive. But now I have both of them, and I know that I really want to read them, so I will get to them sometime soon. I don't really know, but I got them. That's about it. That's all I gotta say. These are about, I believe, a really prestigious ballet school and some serious chick drama that gets really dark. That's all I know, which is intriguing enough for me. Oh, I forgot that I got this one. Good job, me. Okay, I got Like a River Glorious by Ray Carson, which is the sequel to Walk on Earth a Stranger, I think. This is the sequel to that book that I also have not read, where it's about the girl, it's during like the gold rush era, and it's about the girl who can like sense gold in the ground, so she's hunted and drama happens. I haven't read it. I'm making up a lot of this, but this is the sequel to it, and I just happen to really like the covers, so I got it. I've also heard really good stuff about that series, so I mean, why not? I got it. The next book I picked up is because I am starting to kind of like hoard all of the books for Halloween. I'm just switching into like the horror genre very quickly. Like I want to like have all of the books ready to go pretty much as soon as we hit the fall season, which we are very close. I'm very excited. But the next book is White Crow by Marcus Sedgwick. This is about a girl who moves to a town called Winterfold when she doesn't really want to be there, but it's a very dismal town, and there is another girl who has lived there her entire life and kind of knows that there are secrets in the town, basically, and the two of them, I think, form a pact to uncover the horrors of the town. It says stuff about life and death, God and the devil, and I feel like it's just gonna be really creepy. Look at the cover. It sounds good. I'm collecting all of the books for Halloween. Same thing with this book. This is called The Killer in Me by Margot Harrison. So basically this is about a girl who follows the story of a serial killer called the Thief, who apparently kills at random and hides bodies in mine shafts. And she literally tracks him, I think, kind of across the country, because she takes it upon herself to like rectify the situation, I guess. I don't know, that seems a little precocious. Pretty much once she ends up meeting the serial killer, he's not exactly who she expected him to be. He seems a very normal person with a very normal family, so she starts to question who the serial killer actually is and the killer tendencies that he has brought out in her. Very vague, but sounds very dark and thrillery, so this sounds perfect for October. And the last book that I have to haul for you is The Telling, and this is by Alexandra Sarawi? No clue. I read The Creeping by her last year, which I believe was her debut book, and I loved it. Her pacing and her storytelling was just like flawlessly done for a standalone YA thriller. It was just done really, really well and very creepy. So when I saw this one came out this year, I really wanted to get my hands on it. This has a very similar vague synopsis where it's following a girl whose stepbrother was killed. She kind of starts to question what is real and what is a fairy tale that he told her growing up. It just sounds very creepy. I loved her writing style for The Creeping. This sounds very similar, where it's going to be set in a very normal suburban town where she's just living the normal contemporary YA teenage life when there's kind of a big upheaval and drama starts to happen and people start to question everything. Sounds like this. I'm very excited. So that is it for this haul. Expect an even bigger one for the month of September, because September, like I said, is going to be an expensive book month, and I'm so excited for it. So that is it. I hope you guys are reading some amazing books, and I will see you in my next video.